everyone, and welcome back to our program. My name is Juliana Morris. I am the doctor and physician champion of this health and wellness cable program. I'm here with Jennifer Vitri and Pep Vicente, and today we're going to be talking about mindfulness. So in our last episode, we talked about food and is medicine. And today we're going to be talking more in depth about mental health and specifically mindfulness, which is a practice that helps us achieve better mental health. And mindfulness has been practiced throughout human history in many different cultures, and it's still practiced today. And at our institution at Mass General Brigham, there is the Benson Henry Institute on Mind-Body Medicine, and that is something that helps patients learn the skills of mindfulness to recover from illness or prevent disease. So in this discussion, we will share a few practical tips on training yourself to be mindful, using opportunities we have throughout the day in your day-to-day life, such as food and eating and how to eat mindfully. And just like last time, we prepared a list of questions which Pep will ask and help guide us through the conversation.
Hello everyone, and hello Dr. Morris and Jennifer. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Good. So good to have you back. Let's start with the questions. Dr. Morris, what is mindfulness? And Jennifer, how would you explain mindfulness related to eating?
Yeah, so mindfulness is the practice of purposefully bringing one's attention to the present moment experience. So it's really about being in the present moment and experiencing that, not living in the past or thinking about the future, as many of us often go through our lives doing. It's also about having curiosity about oneself and our own experience. So really noticing our feelings, our thoughts, our bodily sensations, and not just noticing them, but noticing them without judgment. And if there's anything that feels off, just noticing that and practicing kindness towards ourselves.
And mindfulness also can relate to our eating, and it's referred to as mindful eating. And mindful eating, it includes simple strategies that we can all use to develop healthier eating habits as well as a healthy relationship with food. And mindful eating is not a diet, but instead it's about listening to our bodies. It's about focusing on not just what we eat, but where we eat, how much we eat, why we eat, and more. And while there are many tips that we can all use when it comes to mindful eating, today we're going to review 5 simple tips that we can practice on our own and with our family members.
Great. Dr. Morris, what are some of the health benefits of mindfulness?
Oh, so many. So we know that mindfulness reduces stress and improves well-being in general. And there have been really robust studies showing how mindfulness is helpful for alleviating depression, anxiety, improving sleep, and also helping with chronic pain. And there are some newer studies that suggest it can also be helpful in conditions such as fibromyalgia, PTSD, and even psoriasis. Not only does it help with these health conditions, but it can also help prevent health problems in the future and mental health problems in the future. Mindfulness is like a muscle. And the more you practice it, the stronger that muscle gets. So bringing mindfulness in our day-to-day lives cultivates the ability to respond to stress and problems so that we're better able to address problems when they come along, because we know life isn't easy and problems come, and mindfulness is certainly not a way to make us forget about our problems, but it can better help us cope with them in the moment.
And Jennifer, how do I train myself to be mindful?
Well, with a little practice, we can definitely train ourselves to be more mindful when it comes to eating. Let's talk about 5 simple tips that we can all practice at home. Tip 1 is to sit down. Many of us today, we're eating on the go. We're eating in places, for instance, in front of the TV, on our sofas, in our cars even, or our bed. And what we know is when we eat on the go or some of these other places, we usually aren't focused on what we're eating, and we're likely to overeat as a result. Instead, always sit down when you eat. Sit at a table, preferably one meant for eating, and put your feet on the floor. And what you'll find is sitting down will help you to be more mindful, allowing yourself to focus on what you're eating. Tip 2 is to slow down. We all know that we are living in a fast-paced world today, and we're all always on the go. And when we eat quickly, again, we are also likely to overeat. Try putting your fork down with each bite and chew your food thoroughly. Also, taking a sip of water can help, and trying to just take big, deep breaths between each bite of food. And this will help us to promote improved digestion as well as absorption of our meals. And you should also feel fuller faster when you eat slower. Many people don't realize that it takes our brains an average of 20 minutes to get the signals that we are actually satisfied. So slowing down will help you to eat less and feel fuller faster. Tip 3 is to savor and think about our senses. Savor means to enjoy your food, and think about your senses including smell, taste, texture, sound, and temperature. When you eat, ask yourself, how does this taste? How does the texture feel in my mouth? Ask yourself, how does it smell? And savoring your food will help you to enjoy it more by being more mindful as well. Tip 4 is simplify, and think about creating a calm environment when you're eating with as minimal distraction as possible. Try turning off your phone, turning off the TV. I can't tell you how many times I see people eating and they're staring at their phones and they're not focused on their food as a result. Also, trying to have a quiet environment when you're eating, which will allow yourself to relax and fully focus on your meal. And the final tip is feeling. And when it comes to mindful eating, we want to think about how we feel when we're eating. Are you anxious? Are you stressed? Are you bored? Are you happy or sad? Are you even feeling hungry? Many times we know we eat for all different reasons, and we have learned in previous shows that our emotions are closely related to not only what we eat, but how we feel also affects our food choices. So try to think about food as a way to fuel your body, and also try to feel grateful or thankful for each meal that you have, thinking about the different foods and how they are nourishing your body.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Very enlightening. Are there opportunities throughout the day that I can use to learn to be mindful? How to be mindful? That's a question for both of you.
Sure. So there are so many opportunities. Really, any moment of the day could be a moment to be mindful. For example, right now, just notice where your body is and notice the feel of your feet on the ground. With a soft gaze, you can look around and see what are the different sights you see and what are you hearing in the background. All of these things can be done through our different senses, hearing, smelling, seeing, touching. And another example is for washing your hands. A lot of us are washing our hands more these days, and it's a really good opportunity to stop and not just think, okay, what am I going to do next, but think, how does this feel? How does the soap feel? Do my hands feel soft? Where do they feel rough? How are my hands slippery? And this is a mindful moment you can give yourself and help prepare yourself for taking on the challenges of the day.
In regards to eating, very similar to what Dr. Morris said, we can use anytime we eat a meal or a snack or even take a drink as an opportunity to practice mindfulness. We learned these 5 simple tips today, and when you are ready to eat a meal or have something that you're putting in your mouth, try to stop and pause and ask yourself, how am I feeling at this moment? Am I hungry, or am I wanting to eat maybe because of some of those other emotions that we mentioned earlier? Maybe you're feeling anxious or a little bit bored. And try to just pause again and then ask yourself, well, how will I feel if I eat this now? And then how will I feel after the meal? And what you'll find is, as you're practicing these simple tips on a day-to-day basis, in time you should start to develop more of a healthy relationship with food and healthy eating habits.
Thank you. This last question is for both of you as well. What other daily opportunities can I use to learn to become more mindful?
Yes, well, I think really there are so many different opportunities, and I'd like to take this moment to practice. So in addition to stopping and noticing what you're doing, we can also take a few minutes every day to stop and meditate and really be in the moment and be in our bodies. And I would like to practice that with you all now. If you can join me in just placing your feet flat on the floor, or whatever part of your body is connected to the floor, noticing how the chair feels under your legs, and either keeping a soft gaze right in front of you, or you can close your eyes if you wish. Just feel your spine nice and straight, going from the base of your spine, and feel your body lengthening up to the top of your head. Try to notice the space in between each vertebrae of your spine. And now just relax your shoulders, relax your back. And bring your attention to your breath. If you wish, you can place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, noticing how you feel the breath entering and leaving your body. How does your breath feel? Does it feel shallow, only in your chest? I invite you to feel the breath moving into your belly, if so. Feeling the breath entering your nose, warming the inside of your nose. And now you can bring your attention to your face. Feel your forehead relax. Feel the tongue at the base of your mouth relax. And just stay here for a moment, enjoying the sensation of just being still. You may notice sounds or distractions or have a thought come to your mind. If you do, just notice it and let it go. Okay, we'll finish now, but I invite you to continue this practice after the program if you wish. Again, feel your feet on the floor. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back to this moment and open your eyes when you're ready.
Wonderful. Very relaxing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for to both of you for being here today. I Hope that you all found today's discussion on mindfulness helpful to your life. And we know that mindfulness can be an effective and powerful tool for us to stay healthier and feel happier. We hope that you will start learning to be mindful and make a habit of practicing mindfulness. We know it's not always easy, but even the small attempts you can make in your day-to-day life can have a difference. And we thank you for watching the program, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.